There was an accident on Gerrards Fort Road.
And members of a West Virginia University fraternity are facing charges. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Channel 14 News.
When I was in foster care.
I'm April Belizio. An accident that took place on Gerrards Fort Road in Greene County left an elderly woman with minor injuries. The accident that occurred earlier this week involved a tractor-trailer and an SUV. Police say the woman drove through a stop sign and struck the right side of the tractor-trailer. The woman was taken to the hospital and treated for minor injuries. The passenger in the car and the truck driver were both uninjured.
West Virginia University Phi Gamma Delta members are facing disorderly conduct charges for their involvement in a prank gone wrong. Police in Morgantown, West Virginia say that 7 members of the fraternity participated in a prank about putting another in the trunk of a car. Officers responded Wednesday to a report of battery and kidnapping. Morgantown Police Chief Ed Preston said Wednesday reported a large group of individuals beating and kidnapping a person by stuffing them into the back of a car. Once officers arrived on the scene, they noticed a group of people who seemed to have been just in a fight and were trying to get into a car and leave, but the authorities detained them. The chief said police found a 21-year-old man in the trunk bound with duct tape. In a statement from the school's director of Greek life, Roy Brakeler, immediately contacted the frat's national chapter and said his office is looking into the matter. This will also be reviewed by the school's Office of Student Conduct.
It was an exciting election day for Louis Deitch as he paced back and forth in the Greene County office awaiting more than 300 absentee ballots to be counted to determine who the next judge would be. Deitch beat Jeffrey Grimes by 86 votes. Deitch, who has been the district magistrate in Waynesburg for 15 years, will serve the remainder of his term until January, and he will be sworn in for a 10-year term as the next Court of Common Pleas judge in Greene County.
Property taxes will remain steady in Cumberland Township in 2016, although spending will be down as local officials brace for a drop in Act 13 drilling money next year. The township supervisors voted Monday afternoon to advise the preliminary $2.9 million spending plan that is expected to be approved at their December 7th meeting. Taxes will remain at $3 million for property owners. Another $2.3 million will be placed in the township's capital reserve rainy day fund. The overall lower budget expenditures and higher reserve fund are mainly due to concerns about a potential loss in Act 13 revenue. The township received about $900,000 in drilling money this year, and the township is only budgeting to receive $375,000 this next year.
Coming up next, a stabbing on a college campus and a tractor used in a robbery. Stay tuned.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Switch to Energy Star light bulbs, and you'll realize just how much cash you are really burning through. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov.
A student with a knife assaulted people on the University of California Merced campus before he was stopped by police.
There were cops everywhere. It was really scary.
The UC Merced campus in disbelief after a terrifying attack on campus that left 4 people injured.
2 were students. 1 was a staff member, and the other was a contract employee.
And a suspect dead at the hands of police.
The call was put out that the suspect had fled from the classroom wielding a knife, and when the suspect turned toward the officers, an officer-involved shooting occurred, and the suspect succumbed to his injuries.
Students like freshman Nicole Goodman were evacuated from their classes. She was rushed back to her dorm.
When I got to my room, the dorm was locked down, and we got an email soon after saying that it was safe to leave the room.
They heard some commotion in a classroom across the hall from where they were working.
John Price is the father of one of the victims, 31-year-old Byron Price. Not a student, rather a contractor working at the building where it all started.
The trigger point was, I guess, girls screaming, and that's, that doesn't happen normally.
John says his son with other co-workers ran into the classroom and saw the suspect in a hoodie tied tight around his face. The suspect turned, stabbing him in the side.
He was in the hospital. It got a stab wound down low, and they did a CT scan to make sure no organs were hurt.
Tonight, 3 other victims are also recovering as this small town and campus tries to make sense of it.
As of now, the campus remains on precautionary lockdown as this incident is investigated and will continue to be closed through tomorrow.
Police in a Vermont town say someone used a tractor to try to break into a credit union. Eliza Larson reports.
I've never seen anything like this.
Zach Grant says he's seen a lot of different vehicles get towed to and from Bob Howard's auto in Rutland. He says he was surprised to see this large tractor in the lot Wednesday morning.
It's actually for picking up hay bales. I think he was trying to pick up the night deposit instead, so.
State police say members of the Fairhaven rescue team saw someone using the tractor to ram into the side of a building along Cold River Road in Rutland early Wednesday morning.
At first you would assume it was like a drunk farmer or something, and then I was actually scrolling through Facebook when we had a break, and I actually read the more in-depth article and kind of got a good laugh out of it.
For Green Mountain Credit Union, it's no laughing matter. Crews worked all day to repair the credit union's night deposit box damaged by the tractor. State police say the driver may have been trying to break in and take some money, but was unsuccessful. Before police could get there, the suspect drove the tractor up the road to a nearby apartment complex.
He tried to go through the apartment complex with this big tractor, hit a tree, or at least got wedged into a tree and fled on foot.
Some residents at the Adele Stanley apartment complex say they heard sirens in the morning, but did not hear or see anyone on a tractor. Police described the driver as a white male, about 5 feet 8 inches tall, who was wearing a light-colored sweatshirt at the time. They do not yet know if drugs or alcohol were involved. They're still investigating if the tractor belonged to the driver or if he stole it from someone else.
But at this time, we don't know if the tractor is stolen or not. I mean, here it is, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Nobody's reported a tractor being stolen.
For now, the tractor is locked up, but its driver is still out there. State police in Rutland are looking for any information that could lead to him.
A terminal at Sky Harbor Airport in Phoenix was closed for a few hours Wednesday evening. Sky Harbor Airport officials had to close 2 checkpoints while they investigated an unattended bag. Passengers could still enter the terminal through other checkpoints. Officials expected some delays. The situation was resolved after 2 hours.
The FBI says it has positively matched DNA collected from a missing Rockford boy with that of a dismembered toddler found in a Chicago lagoon. They say the DNA belongs to 2-year-old Kyron Knox. Knox was reporting missing in mid-September, but authorities aren't sure when he was last seen. Knox's mother said he was staying with a family friend in Rockford while she moved from Iowa to Chicago. His remains were found in a park in Garfield Park in a pond over Labor Day weekend.
Coming up next, a Uniontown man raises awareness for veterans, and the Liberty Bridge will be under construction.
In your new role, we help you help. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who once took care of you.
A Uniontown man is voluntarily living outside for a month to raise awareness for homeless veterans. Marine Corporal Brandon Rumbach, who is a double amputee veteran, is known by many in Uniontown and well liked. He's trying to gain attention for how veterans live when they return home from active duty. Rumbach began his mission on November 1st and plans to stay outside until November 29th, which marks the 5 years since he was injured in Afghanistan. The only things he brought with him were a change of clothes, some blankets, and a small bag containing a few supplies.
Survey work and platform installation on the Liberty Bridge in Pittsburgh will require single-lane restrictions as needed daily through November 30th. Restrictions will be in place from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Thursday, from 8 p.m. Friday to noon on Saturday, from 6 p.m. Saturday to noon Sunday, and from 6 p.m. Sunday through 5 a.m. on Monday.
A crossing guard in McKees Rocks was rushed to the hospital after being struck by a car yesterday morning. The community who knows her as Miss Rita, and she's nearly there every morning helping elderly people and children cross safely. Surveillance footage from a convenience store shows the crossing guard looking before crossing the road, and right as she began to cross, a car hit her. People who were in the area rushed to her side as she laid on the ground. The driver told police that he hadn't seen the crossing guard because there was a glare from the sun. No charges have been filed against the driver.
Tyler Technologies Incorporated and Washington County Tax Revenue Department are planning the first in a series of 6 public meetings to let residents know what's in store for them in light of a county-wide property reassessment for 6 p.m. Monday in the Washington High School Gymnasium. According to the meeting's organizers, and the purpose of the gatherings is to provide county residents and taxpayers with an update on the status of the reassessment project, to outline a roadmap of what comes next, to engage in a brief question and answer session. Washington County Commissioners in 2013 embarked on a $6.9 million reassessment program because of a court file case by the Washington and McGuffey school districts.
Coming up next, we'll take a look at Harvest Fest and the fall play opens its doors. You're watching Channel 14 News.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
The Waynesburg University Players are well underway with their production of Mary Shelley's book, Frankenstein. Ian Barclay has more.
On November 4th through the 7th, the Waynesburg University Theater Department presented the play Frankenstein. This thrilling drama focuses on a doctor who attempts to create life and succeeds. Students have given a lot of their time for this production, but to them, it is all worth it. Junior Mike Merton is a lead in the play, and finds that despite the long nights, it pays off.
Every time we do theater, my favorite part is getting to know the new people, but as far as this play in particular goes, I enjoy the amount of death that we have, as odd as that sounds. It's something I haven't done on stage before, so it's interesting to get to see that different style of acting. I'm not sure if and many of the people watching this will have experienced that before either. But it's interesting to see the people pretend to die. It's hard to hold your breath when you're lying on the stage. It's kind of a fun experience to be able to see other people do that and do it yourself, and it's just kind of a fun difference from the usual, I suppose.
If you happen to have missed the performance of Frankenstein, don't worry, there will be more plays to come. For WCTV, I'm Ian Barclay.
Friday night, starting at 8:30, the Waynesburg University Students Activity Board will be hosting its first ever neon dance. This event was proposed by sophomore sports broadcasting major Rob McKinney, whose goal of the dance was to bring the campus together with something new. His friend Xander Brownwell is a notable DJ from the greater Pittsburgh area and will be DJing the dance.
President Douglas Lee will be speaking at the annual President's Press Conference this coming Monday at 2 p.m. Currently, the event is being held at Alumni Hall. Students are encouraged to come out and ask President Lee questions on the topics he will be discussing. Recent recognitions of the university in state school versus private school are among the topics to be discussed. Those interested in attending should know that the event requires proper dress.
Love Shouldn't Hurt is a new event being held in the Benedum Dining Hall on November 9th. Come out between breakfast and lunch to hear how you can stop domestic violence and what you can do to help. Those who come out will be entered to win a 7-inch fire tablet. Other great prizes are available to win as well.
Coming up next, Sarah Ditzenberger has your business report. Don't flip that dial, because Channel 14 News will be right back.
Will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
It's not too early to start making a wish list for the holidays. One hot gift many techies want? A drone. But as Mary Maloney reports in today's Consumer Watch, the popular present may cause problems.
Flying high in the air, one of the predicted popular presents, drones. The Consumer Electronics Association estimates more than 500,000 drones will be sold this holiday season. But drones could pose a danger. The FAA says it gets about 100 reports a month from pilots who see drones flying near planes or airports. So far, no one has been hurt, but the government isn't taking any chances. The FAA and Department of Transportation have a new task force working on developing a registration system for drones. Industry experts say the government most likely will not interfere with drones given as gifts. Small drones weighing only a couple of pounds already can't fly too high and aren't considered as potentially damaging as some of the heavier aircraft. For Consumer Watch, I'm Mary Maloney.
Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders is moving forward with his position on legalizing pot. The Democratic presidential hopeful filed a Senate bill Wednesday that would decriminalize marijuana with the federal government. The bill would also allow states to decide whether they want to legalize recreational use of the drug. It's a long shot in the Senate, and while some states have legalized pot, it's still illegal on the federal level. Sanders only recently made a clear position on marijuana. The proposal plays to his base of younger and more liberal supporters who have helped him build his campaign. Americans are buying more cars than ever. U.S. auto sales in October were up 14% from the same time last year, and General Motors says it expects the industry to surpass the sales record this year. More than 17 million cars and trucks were sold in the U.S. back in 2000. Experts credit the auto sales spike to low unemployment, cheap gas prices, low interest rates, and more available credit. One automaker not joining in the good news is Volkswagen, which is struggling with a widening emissions scandal. Volkswagen's sales were flat last month compared to a year ago. A Danish company is working to save the planet one pencil at a time. The Sprout World company makes pencils you can plant when you are done using them. Instead of an eraser at the tip, the pencils contain a biodegradable capsule with seeds inside. Once the pencil is too short to use, just plant the stub in some dirt and water it. When the capsule dissolves, the seed grows into a plant. The Sprout pencil started as a Kickstarter campaign and is now available on Amazon. It comes in 14 varieties including tomato, lavender, basil, sunflower, and green pepper. Coming up next, John Leidick has your sports reports.
Coming home can be hard if you're a veteran of Iraq or Afghanistan. You may feel like you're all alone. But you're not alone. At IAVA.org, your fellow vets are all around you. Join our free online community, get the resources you need, and connect to other vets who know where you're coming from. IAVA.org. We've got your back.
The Waynesburg football team made a long trek to Kentucky. The soccer and cross-country teams wrapped up their regular seasons, and we have the latest on your athletes of the week. Hello, I'm John Leidick, and this is your Channel 14 Sports Report. The Waynesburg football team traveled to Crestview Hills, Kentucky to take on nationally ranked Thomas More. Thomas More got on the board early after a Jake Doherty interception. The Saints took it 30 yards, and it was capped off on a drive that resulted in a touchdown pass from Cam Evans to Brennan Kuntz. Thomas More added 2 more touchdowns before the end of the half to lead 21-0. Thomas More found the end zone quickly on a passing and running touchdown early in the third. Waynesburg got on the board when Jerry Lahman found the end zone late in the third. And when the quarterback ran 22 yards to pay dirt, Waynesburg missed the extra point and trailed 35-6. The point after was missed, and Thomas More added another touchdown late in the fourth quarter on a Cam Evans touchdown reception. The Yellow Jackets would add a touchdown as well to Joe Malta, and the Yellow Jackets are off this week before they end the season on the road against I-79 rival Washington and Jefferson. Kickoff on November 14th is set for 1:30. The men's and women's soccer teams wrapped up their 2015 campaigns as they battled Westminster at John F. Wiley Stadium. The women opened up the day falling behind 2-0 in the first half, but the Yellow Jackets would respond, though, in the second half with 2 goals by senior Carly Murphy in the 57th and 88th minute. Waynesburg's women headed to double overtime for the second straight game, but unfortunately, a goal in the 101st minute by Westminster downed the Yellow Jackets 3-2. Sierra Scott made 16 saves in the losing effort. The men were not as fortunate as they fell in their season finale 4-0 to Westminster. The Titans had goals in the 15th, 33rd, 55th, and 58th minute. Waynesburg was outshot 25-3 in the contest. Senior goalkeeper Nathan Rebar made 10 saves in the losing effort. Congratulations to both teams on their successful seasons. And the women's and men's cross-country teams competed this past weekend in the PAC Championships. The Waynesburg women's team was second for a second straight year as they were runners-up to Grove City. Julie Gerber led the way for the Yellow Jackets, finishing second. Emily Latimer took 6 to assist in the Yellow Jacket effort. A group of 4 took home second team honors. Freshman Tegan Simonton, sophomore Eleanor Locke, and junior Katie Latimer took home 8th, 9th, and 10th, respectively. Angie Marchetti placed 14th to round out the group of 4. The men's team finished 6 out of 10 teams, with senior Ben McCauley leading the way for the Yellow Jackets in 14th place. Junior Cody Nail took 32nd, and rounding out the men's top 3 was Joel Kosminski in the 37th spot. The women and men will send representatives to compete in the Mideast Regional Tournament on November 14th at Newville, Pennsylvania. And finally, our Waynesburg Athletes of the Week have been named, and it's Jerry Lahman, the running back for the Waynesburg football team, and senior volleyball libero Jessica DeRazio. Lahman racked up 137 yards and a touchdown in Waynesburg's 42-13 loss to Thomas More, and DeRazio piled up 57 digs of 3-set matches last week, including 41 during the defeat of Teal. D'Orazio finished her Waynesburg career with 1,801 digs, and a huge congratulations goes out to both of our Waynesburg Athletes of the Weeks. Coming up next, Ryan Schwertfeger will have your noon. Stay tuned to Channel 14 News.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are the #1 killer of children 1 through 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Hello everybody, Ryan Schwertfeger here in the Channel 14 Weather Center. I hope you're watching this newscast outdoors, as it's been an absolutely beautiful past few days here in Waynesburg. Currently it's 72 degrees and partly sunny, and that's much higher than the average temperatures for this time of the year. Now the good news is that the sunny conditions will continue for the most part going forward, but as we take a look at your 5-day forecast, the temperatures are going to get cooler back to where we should be this time of year. But we will have a slight blip of rain tomorrow afternoon with showers on the way and a high of 70 and a low of 47. After that, a front comes through, bringing some rain, and sunny conditions will reign supreme on Saturday, with the only difference being those cooler temperatures. Mostly sunny skies with a high in the low 50s and a low in the mid 30s is what I see in store. And for Sunday, a similar story with a high of about 50 and a low in the mid to upper 30s. Also for Monday, sun, with a high just shy of 60 and a low in the low 40s. Now looking at Tuesday as well, partly sunny skies with a high of a little above 60 and a low of just about 50. So a very similar forecast to what we saw last week, and I would definitely say, especially for this weekend, if you want to go outside, maybe take a nice hike, enjoy this last hurrah of fall before we start getting to those colder conditions, that might be a good option for you to take up.
For sure. I mean, this is great weather. Mother Nature, she's got to make up her mind right now. We're having better weather to start out this month than we did last month.
Oh, certainly.
Well, thank you for watching.
Tune in next week and every week for more Live at 5. Have a wonderful weekend.